progress. We approved 2 minor plats, and that was the Yarberry Estates plat, and that was 1 block, 2 lots. And then there was a minor replat for Hidden Meadows, and that was combining 2 lots. We had a very uneventful month for January. Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Then we have, next item is approval of minutes from the November 4th, 2025 regular meeting and the January 9th, 2026 special joint meeting.
I just have a question about the special joint meeting. There's no like summary of what happened, or do we have to go see that?
Would you like to summarize that, City Manager?
Can you repeat it one more time?
She was asking why there isn't a summary of the minutes for the strategic planning workshop.
We're not required to do so. We put it out just for what the agenda was. We'll submit the strategic plan to City Council once it's complete. So we're looking towards the second meeting of the February for that, since it was just a discussion.
Do you remember when we had that email where you had to put your priorities in order? They printed those, and we went over those. Our friend here was a little caught off guard. But they were listed out. But I mean, I thought it was a pretty good meeting.
Gina, I'll get you a packet of what we went over as well, and I'll provide you with that. So your packet.
Okay, thank you.
Can we do one for the EDC?
I'm sorry.
Can we get, see how the EDC one went? The one that
Absolutely.
was in the afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it went very well, just positive feedback.
I do too. I thought we want to thank each and every one of you, and even for the ones that couldn't be there, we took your information that you provided, and it was a very constructive conversation. So I really appreciate the time that y'all put in for that. I really
I
do.
wasn't there, but I heard from feedback that it was a great workshop.
Well, thank you for doing that, for orchestrating it. I make a motion to approve the minutes as written. I should.
Who was the second?
Second. Liz.
Oh,
Who
I
seconded?
was, I did, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Chairperson Glennie Hefner,
Yes.
Associate Chairperson Wagner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Willoughby,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wofford,
Yes.
and Commissioner Villery.
Yes.
Our next item is citizen comments. Any person with city-related business not on this agenda may speak to the commission. Time is limited to 3 minutes in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The Planning and Zoning Commission may not deliberate on the comments. Personal attacks will not be allowed, and personal matters should be addressed with the city manager during normal business hours. Do we have anybody? Then we will end the citizen comments. Move on to new business. Election of a chairperson and associate chairperson for the remainder of 2026 term to expire May 2026.
So, Ms. Glennie,
Yeah.
would like to take this one?
Do I want to renew? Or I have things going on and I really don't want to be the chairman right now.
Okay.
Not to say that I wouldn't do it later, but if I need it, but I don't need a leadership role in any manner that I'm not already covering someplace else.
Okay, so do we have a nomination for chairperson?
Nominate Janet Davis.
I second that.
2 months?
March.
March?
April.
Well, this is February. March. April, May.
Okay.
And associate chair?
I don't mind hanging out in this position if everybody else is okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a roll call. Current chairperson, Glendy Davis.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know.
Oh my God.
Glendy Davis, I knew.
I'm looking at too many names on here. I apologize. I'm just gonna combine both of you. I apologize.
Thank you.
Current chairperson, Glendy Hefner. Associate chairperson, Wagner McGee.
Yes.
Commissioner Ronnie Willoughby.
Yes.
Commissioner Janet Davis.
Yes.
Commissioner Wofford.
Yes.
And Commissioner Villery.
Okay, yes.
Okay. That passes. Welcome to your new positions.
Okay. Okay, I'll finish it up. I can read, I'm good at that. Our next item is public hearing PZ 260112, request for a variance at 3811 and a half North FM 646, Santa Fe, Texas, legally described as abstract 1M Austin, SR part of lot 8-7, FH Thaman subdivision to the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8 subdivisions, Section 6.3.2 design standards. Subdivision B, street servicing and improvement to allow a publicly dedicated right-of-way to be improved outside of the current requirement of concrete curb and gutter and to be improved for improvement to be made with asphalt.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mr. Dexter has submitted a request for a variance. Our current standards say that if you are going to make an improvement on a lot, then it has to be done on an improved road, and the improved road standards say that it has to be concrete curb and gutter. The current road or right-of-way that is leading up to the lot that Dexter is looking to purchase is a right-of-way that was dedicated in the 70s when we were not annexed as a city yet. It was annexed, and we did not find out that it was actually a dedicated right-of-way until Dexter did his plat, and we saw it recorded on that plat. And so I did a little bit of digging and found all of the dedications on it and found out that it was actually dedicated to us as a right-of-way and not just a driveway, which we had thought it was since it had come into the city. So we did a little bit more digging, found out that it was not adopted by the county and recognized as a road. The city had not adopted it and recognized it as a road, so it's just remained as an unimproved right-of-way up until this point. Now that it is looking to be improved upon, now it has to be brought up to standards, which poses a bit of an issue because it is a very short right-of-way, but it is a very big undertaking considering the state that it's in now. And for the project, it is not quite feasible for the amount of money that it's going to cost to do concrete curb and gutter, but it does have to come to planning and zoning if there's going to be any variation in those requirements, because planning and zoning is who set the standards that it has to be concrete curb and gutter. One of the concerns that has been brought up amongst staff and Dexter was that it may set a precedence, and that was one of the things that we wanted you all to discuss, is if that was something that we were okay with approving going forward with this project, or if there was a possibility of requesting city council look at abandoning that right of way for this project to continue on. Just a couple things to consider. I've asked Dexter to wait until the second portion to give his presentation so that he can go over everything so you can see the entirety of the project. I didn't feel it was very fair to limit him to the public hearing portion and not be allowed to ask him any questions about the project. So that'll be my section if anyone has any other questions
Would
or.
it be a precedence for only city property or just in general for street, driveway, right-of-way?
So when you put the street in, generally people are going to request that we take it over. We don't have to accept it on the plat. It has the dedication language, but the city still has to accept it. Just because you put the dedication language on there doesn't mean that the city is going to accept it. We have to go through a formal process, taking it to city council, saying that we are going to accept it into our inventory of streets that we are going to maintain.
Oh, I see, okay. Okay.
So read the other part?
We have to open it up for public hearing.
Oh. So if we don't have any, the public hearing is closed and we'll open for consideration?
As long as nobody else had any other.
Yeah, unless anybody has any other question. Okay.
I guess I wanted to know the ramifications of each of the options that you just listed off.
We'll talk about that under.
Yeah.
In next, okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay. Next item, consideration and possible action of PZ 260112, request for a variance of 3811 1/2 North FM 646, Santa Fe, Texas, legally described as abstract 1M Austin SR, part of Lot 8-7, FH Thaman subdivision to the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8 subdivisions, Section 6.3.2, design standards, Section B, street servicing and improvements to allow publicly dedicated right-of-way to be improved outside of the current requirements of concrete, curb, and gutter, and to be improved for improvements to be made with asphalt.
Okay, good evening, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Dexter Geis. I'm here on behalf of Victorious Assisted Living to request, as it's been stated, a variance for a access road that leads, or actually dead ends into a property located at 3811 and a half FM 646 Road North. We are currently under contract for this property, and our intention is to build a second 16-bed residential assisted living home. So we have now been operating in the city for approximately 2.5 years, in which time we have been able to provide proven exceptional senior living care and services to our community as the only long-term care provider in Santa Fe. Most of our services are geared around activities of daily living. We help with bathing, dressing, grooming, all of those activities that individuals no longer can do for themselves at home. We assist with medication, administration, meals, activities, and just overall, our aim is to provide a home-like environment whereby the individual can thrive and experience a higher quality of life and care as opposed to an alternative, say, a nursing home. So it is our desire with this expansion project to build out a small residential assisted living community, which will be the first of its kind in Galveston County. The request is being submitted in consideration of practical, financial, and community benefits that align with what we believe to be the city's long-term interest. And so just from a conceptual standpoint, you can kind of see these 3D renderings. It will very much be and have the appearance of a home, very similar to the property that is located at 3815 FM 646 Road North. We've done quite a bit of work already, and we have our full set of architectural plans ready to be reviewed by the city. In this design, essentially it's, I say, a home on steroids. It's basically 16 private bedrooms that each individual resident will be able to occupy. And then you'll see there are quite a bit of common areas, which you would find standard in any home, including a living room, a dining room, and some activity areas, as well as outdoor space for them to enjoy. And then this is kind of a conceptual 3D rendering of the site plan. What we're hoping to do or hoping to accomplish is essentially to eventually build out 2 homes on this particular lot, with phase 1 being building A, phase 2 being building B. And then there's actually a formal site plan. So we feel like we've worked really hard on our due diligence. Probably over the last 6 months, we've been meeting with city officials, and we've really made some great headway. For the most part, we've identified the need in the community. We historically stay pretty full with the waiting list, and honestly feel really bad having to turn away quite a bit of locals that are not able to admit because of availability. And so without a doubt, we believe the need is there, again, being the only provider in Santa Fe. Drainage, for the most part, we feel really good about that. Those plans are currently with our civil engineer, as well as utilities. We have, for the most part, verified with the water department that we have adequate sewer and water. Gas is not currently on the property, but it should be no big deal to extend the gas line. And also started discussions with CenterPoint, and electric will not be a concern at all due to the existing easement that kind of runs on the south border of the property. Of course, internet and cable is really never a big deal as long as you're wanting to pay for it. They're happy to put the lines in. Beyond that, the actual, in terms of our funding, it has basically been approved. We have not only commitment from our lender, but we're actually really at a point where we've set a tentative closing date for March if everything can be worked out from the permitting standpoint. So really, that kind of just, brings us down to why I'm here tonight, and what we've discovered, as Georgia pointed out, is this road, which I never would have imagined, driveway, is kind of at the center of kind of what's holding us up. So this unnamed road in question is an abandoned public right-of-way, which has never been really accepted or maintained by the county or city. The right-of-way currently provides primary access to one other business and one non-business property owner, and secondary access to 2 other businesses. The access road is unique that it does terminate into the property which we are currently under contract for. It has very low traffic volume. Even when built out, we primarily just see traffic for our providers and family members. In fact, the other day I was kind of just calculating in my head and kind of through observation, probably less than 20 cars a day. Improving this road we believe will definitely enhance the safety, accessibility, and overall usability for all who travel this road. And our goal is to partner with the city to complete the road improvement in a way that is both effective and fiscally responsible. This project we are proposing would use asphalt that is a stabilized standard, all-weather surface material acceptable by TxDOT. And so for us, there are many reasons why it would be appropriate to grant this variance for this minor development. Number one, cost effectiveness. For the property owners and the city, asphalt construction is significantly less expensive than concrete curb and gutter. And our current proposed estimates right now show a cost of around $120,000 to about $150,000 to pave this road in asphalt, whereas concrete would be upwards of $300,000 for the alternative. So choosing asphalt definitely reduces the financial burden of both private parties and the city for initial construction and future maintenance. And we feel that it's important to know that this is a very small piece of property, which will be subdivided into 2 lots, one under 4 acres, the other under 2 acres. And ultimately, in order for this land to be developed in the future, the access road must be improved as stated by the city. This improvement can only be accomplished with the variance to prevent unreasonable financial hardship on the developer and the city. Secondly, the consistency of surrounding infrastructure. Many public roads in Santa Fe and the surrounding county have been improved with asphalt without curb and gutter. Approving this variance maintains continuity with existing roadway standards in similar areas without setting a precedence, we believe. And then thirdly, adequate drainage without curb and gutter. So this existing crushed gravel road has a tried and true base, which has served this low density area for many years now. The site's natural grading and existing drainage patterns allow for proper runoff without the need for concrete curbs. And asphalt resurfacing with engineered extension of the road with appropriate crown and ditching will meet drainage requirements while avoiding unnecessary and costly infrastructure. Fourthly, just the ease of maintenance. We believe that asphalt is easier and more cost-effective to maintain over time, and repairs can be completed quickly and at a much lower cost compared to concrete systems to reduce the long-term burden on the city and property owners. And then finally, from an economic development standpoint, this expansion project will allow for our small business and this parcel of land to finally be developed to generate increased revenue and property taxes, but it will also add economic diversity, jobs, and secondary revenue through sales tax back to the city. With the completion of this expansion, we expect to employ approximately 45 employees. So this variance is not simply a private request. It supports the broader community by improving one of the last public roads in the economic development corridor in a way that we feel is financially responsible, structurally appropriate, and consistent with local precedents. The improvements will enhance the road from its current state and provide better access for emergency service delivery vehicles and neighboring property owners. So in conclusion, I respectfully ask the commission to approve this variance so that this road can be improved efficiently and in a manner that best fits the character and needs of the area. The approval will allow for us to expand our in-demand assisted living business and services to the city of Santa Fe. Appreciate you guys' time and your service to the community and in consideration. Thank you.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Sure.
How long is your wait list right now?
So right now, we actually have we have a formal and an informal waiting list. Our formal list is about 6 residents. Keeping in mind, it cycles. So once a bed becomes available, many of those guys are not able to wait for placement. So they've either found alternative placements out of the area or their loved one has passed. And so it kind of cycles along that way. And then our informal list is probably about 12 residents.
And do any of those have cars that they park? I think I heard you say that it allows them to continue driving and such to where they would be having cars on the parking?
So our model is a little bit different. We're residential assisted living. So if you can imagine a large facility that meets a house, so we really cater more to individuals that are experiencing end of life. Majority of our residents are there within their last 2 years of life.
Okay.
And so really none of
Not
them will
really
be driving.
Okay.
So traffic really will primarily consist of employees and family members, visitors, and providers.
Okay. I'm glad I asked. Sorry, I heard you wrong.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
So I have something just to say of my experience. My aunt spent her last days with Dexter. And having this facility in our community where I could still work, I would go by in the morning before work, I would go in the evening when I got home, I was there on the weekends, and having that facility in our community was invaluable. Invaluable to be able to have that in the community. And I just can't say that a facility I've ever seen like run as smoothly and have people that care so much for people that are there. So
Looks like it's very well kept.
it's extremely, it's a very special place.
Thank you.
Would the paving be all from 646 to the end of the property?
Yes, and I also asked the fire marshal to attend our meeting in case anyone had any questions related to getting fire trucks or ambulances and the requirements that he would have as far as safety for getting back and forth, if you had any questions for him.
I have questions about abandoning the road because I did the research on all of the neighboring, and as far back as I could find, as these people purchased their property, all of their surveys said private easement.
They did.
So I would assume that somewhere between when the Moody's dedicated this so that their children can have space on their original family plot, somewhere between that space and at least as far back as, I think I got to 1995, so roughly 30 years ago, it's been considered a private easement moving forward. So why can't we just leave it a private easement? And then he wouldn't be required to have this.
Concreted.
So we officially have to release it because it was dedicated to us, even though it has been filed that way.
So how do we do that?
So city council can do that.
So can we make that recommendation fast enough for them to still close on time?
Okay, but they have to purchase that property, is that not correct?
Yes.
Market value?
I'm sorry, you're saying for the
Go ahead.
easement or for the property that we're under contract with?
The easement.
The easement, yes. They would have to.
Well, it's not an easement, it's a road.
The right of way,
It's a
yes.
private easement.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
right,
the
Public.
right now it's a publicly dedicated easement. The way it's been filed in the other deeds is them claiming it as being a private easement, but it's a publicly dedicated right of way. So
That we never accepted.
that we never accepted. So it falls in a weird gray area, but
Yeah.
it would still have to be taken to city council. It would still have to be purchased. The other caveat to that is that he was hoping to apply for a bear grant to get assistance with putting in the road. If it is abandoned, then that removes that option.
Who would maintain it if we granted the variance? Does it formally accepting it at that point?
It still has to be taken to city council and requested to be taken, so it's still gonna have to go through engineering, just like any concrete road would, just like any subdivision would. It'll go through the engineering, which he's in the process of doing right now, is getting all of those specs and everything completed. And then once it's completed, it'll have to be inspected by a private inspector and inspected by our engineers and signed off on. It'll have a 1-year warranty that it'll have to undergo. Any maintenance that'll need to happen within that 1 year will have to be looked at and done. And then after that 1 year, he can request for city council to take it over and make it part of our road inventory. They can accept or decline, or he could choose to keep it as something that he maintains. But we're not required to accept the street after that year. That's up to city council.
My concern is when it changes hands, and it's gonna change hands eventually. They're gonna expect the city to maintain.
So it, like I said,
It gets lost in the shuffle.
yeah. Like with all the plats that are filed, it has to have that language on there, but that's where a lot of misconception has come from, is just because the language is on there does not mean it went through the formal process of acceptance. And we're swimming through a lot of those technicalities right now and things, is that things were not formally accepted. So we're trying to check all those boxes off, and if that's something that he requests, then it will be requested by city council to be formally accepted, if he so chooses to make that request to city council.
So what is the difference between leaving it as a private easement and letting them do their own driveway? And then him putting all this infrastructure and the city choosing not to accept it after a year? What's the?
It's not a private road, it's a public dedicated road.
That we still don't accept and we still don't maintain?
I mean, I can't make,
I'm asking, like, what is
It's very
the,
confusing.
well, I can't answer for city council, just like I can't answer for you guys. So for me to say yes, after a year, they're going to accept it and we're going to
Yeah.
accept responsibility, I can't say 100% yes. So
but if we're gonna accept
but
the
I
road,
think
it
she's
needs to
asking
be
what's
a
the
city
difference.
standard. Because then you're just asking the taxpayer to take over maintenance
Right.
for a
That's what
street,
it is.
so, and then you're setting precedents. So I think we need to focus on how to have it be a private easement. And how can we do that quickly? Because I really do believe that after reading all of these, as these properties changed hands, somewhere between 1984 and this, they chose to have the street be private. And because the surveyor who did the survey work, there's probably another document somewhere that they haven't found.
oh, I've dug through all of them.
And then I guess if I may speak, I definitely can attest to the fact, in talking with the prior property owners and even current, it has never, ever been maintained by anyone other than them. In fact, I even have had opportunity to go out and throw gravel on it. So I guess my concern is at some point, it's gotta be, maintained, even if just for our current facility's benefit. And in my opinion, asphalt paving is better than what it has now.
What is the business in the back there?
That warehouse building?
They do machine maintenance.
Turbo.
Turbo maintenance.
Turbo.
They don't have a lot of traffic.
No, there's not. And that's actually under a lease agreement. My understanding is that the owner is wanting to sell that as well.
Is it like a thing where big trucks go in and out, or?
No, no, it's, from what I understand, they repair and fabricate turbos in the shop and then they send them out.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking along the lines of, if it was big trucks, that would be a
Oh, yeah.
lot of weight.
Yeah, no heavy truck traffic at this point.
So
So,
is this gonna be behind that,
Yes, they're gonna be
Current?
building that. He wants to build this too.
so way back there?
Yeah.
To be extending the road, does the road go all the way back to the house?
This is-
It does not. So right now that it stops where the grass is at, or where the gate's at. And so it'll have to be extended all the way back, because it's gotta have the cul-de-sac on it.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated because the road, you would naturally would think that it would end at those gates. I don't know if I have a picture. Can't really see it, but once you get about halfway down the road, the subject property is completely fenced with hurricane fencing, and there are gates that the previous owners always just kept closed. But technically, that road extends, if I remember correctly, like another 400 and something feet into the property.
So I guess that's my question is, the dedicated road goes well past what's already
Yes.
Yes.
gravel.
Yeah, the dedicated road stops, or
Goes
the
past the
gravel
gate,
stops
it's
right
long.
here.
Yeah.
It's closed.
And the dedicated road goes all the way back into here.
Okay.
And I think that was a lot in part too, because when the family was dividing it up, at one point, the family had a piece of that parcel inside the gate, and then they swapped. So, and I think it still shows the division on the tax records. And I think that's why
That one?
yeah, on the corner, I think that's why the road ended up going through that property.
Is somebody paying taxes on that property?
Well, it was then since, oh no,
No.
it was from what we determined from the county, I emailed the county, they have no record of maintenance or accepting the road, and they respectively said they don't want anything to do with it at this point.
But if it's not, yes. You wanna come, you wanna?
No, I know Dexter, we
Yeah.
talked. I have the property right beside it. And the reason I would want to interject here is because I have 7 acres, which is on the south side. And whenever it rains, all the water comes, and it's over my ankles, just walking anywhere on my property because of, like this south side here. I have that land, and because of the buildings that have been put there in the past, they raised it 2 feet, and the water drains all over my property, which, I came here a year ago and discussed it with city council, but they never got back with me.
Are you on the north side of the road?
No,
or
the south side. That way is north,
Right.
and that way is south. I have the entire length of that property.
And then the softball field
And then the
is to the
softball
east.
field is back over this way. So it's like that, there's a ditch there, which, you talked about concrete with gutters and curbs is one thing, and then concrete or crushed gravel is one thing. But because of this hearing, I came here to say, there's drainage issues. And this property drains a lot on my property.
And so I think the good thing with this, if we are able to move forward, is that obviously we are working with a civil engineer, and we have plans to help mitigate that, because also the softball field is kind of getting some of that as well. So
Where's the
just,
softball field? It's right here.
so it would
Softball
be
field's
to the
over there.
right,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And there's
So-
a ditch, the ditch, it's behind mine and it goes behind his. But there's one of these
That paper.
ditches that goes, it goes north of the softball field.
So is your concern that concrete would make it worse versus the crushed asphalt that it drains through a lot better?
Okay, I don't know, but this is a hearing to
You want to be considered when they do the plan.
Well, yes, please. Especially since the one building, from what I know, okay, there's the turbo shop. They raised that turbo shop up 2 feet. And that was they dug all these ditches. You go all over the place here. And there's these ditches, and that dirt got dumped where that, and then the person put a metal building there, and that's the turbo shop. So that turbo shop is 2 feet higher than every place else. And so the water runs, and it's a big metal building, so all the water comes off of there on the concrete and then drains on my property. So
Where is do you have a house on that
Are
property?
you Roy Mills?
I have a house.
On that property?
Yeah, that's where I live.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if it was just pasture land or if it's,
Well, it's a 2,000 square foot house with 7 acres.
okay.
And then I have a shop there and a barn.
Have you ever flooded?
I flood out whenever it rains.
Oh, no, I mean your house.
Oh, the house is a modular house, and it's 36 inches up. But whenever it rains, my shop gets, the whole floor is wet. Water comes in one side and goes out the other
Right,
side.
okay.
Did you, if I remember, heard you right, you did say when they're gonna put the asphalt, they are gonna put ditches out front,
So.
along it and everything else with drainage and water and everything?
Yes, sir. So currently, the existing road essentially has like a natural drainage with open ditches, and then if you can imagine, it's crushed gravel on that portion of the road. And then I've challenged our civil engineer to basically pick up from that point on into the property to redesign a road that would obviously meet the standards and help, mitigate excess water from going into other properties. And then just as a whole, with the 3.8 acres, we're looking at alternatives to help reverse some of the damage from the past to the softball field and.
Because, I'm looking at some of these pictures and I don't even see any type of ditch or anything. It's just flat ground and everything else.
For that portion
Yeah.
going into the property, but there is a shallow ditch that already exists, and it shouldn't be a big issue to
I guess, right, yeah.
redesign those ditches if we need to.
And then like, if you've ever talked to any of the girls at the softball field, that place is always wet. The girls have to run talk to somebody from 20 years ago. They were running around with wet tennis shoes. But there is a ditch, a large county ditch right behind that, right behind his
Yeah.
property.
Is your name Roy Mills?
No, Roy Mills is who owned it previously.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Raleigh Smith.
Okay.
And I bought it from Leonard Hardman. Roy Mills sold it to Leonard Hardman. Leonard Hardman owned it for 10 months. So are you looking at the survey?
No, I'm just making sure that we have addressed your concerns, so that way we can finish with Dexter. We don't have anything else to add.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how all this thing works, so I wanted to express my concerns.
Sure.
Thank you.
So can you give us our options again? I'm kind of confused on the options. It seems like they're bad, bad, and bad.
So basically what it is that
Yeah, I don't like any of them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want what you said.
Yeah, this is a designated roadway, according to the maps and everything else.
Yes.
And instead of putting concrete and curbs and everything else in
It was not a designated roadway. It was a public road that was dedicated, that was never accepted by the city of Santa Fe.
But, and the status is right now a right-of-way?
It's a publicly dedicated right-of-way.
Okay.
Okay.
Nothing for utility, no easement for utility, none of that, right?
Not that has been disclosed
But
as far
just-
as what we have on the plats.
So really, it was just named on a plat that way.
Yes.
I mean,
Is there a document that?
There is a
Oh.
real document.
yeah,
I mean, because I'm thinking of my own
Okay.
property.
Okay.
Supposedly, I have a right-of-way in the front of my property and the right-of-way on the side of my property that supposedly could be the continuation of Avenue F.
yeah, so the dedication is here. Dexter's already gone through and done the footwork to send to the other property owners requesting that if the city abandons it, that they accept the responsibility of it. So there is that option to go through.
Did they agree?
We didn't have him send it out yet
Okay,
because
okay.
we can't ask them to accept it
If it's
if we don't know
not-
if city council's going to release it or not.
Sure.
So it's gonna have to go hand in hand. We're gonna have to know if that's an option. But if city council, if city council does release it, then it discounts the option of him getting any help from the EDC or even applying to get any help from the EDC to put the road in, which would violate our ordinance that we have that says to get a building permit, you have to have an improved right of way. So,
And then I think the other concern for us is, acquiring this road that now we would have to pay taxes on and be responsible for when 3 other businesses are utilizing it.
he just kind of drew the short straw on it and being the first one that needed to do it. Had he waited and somebody else done it, then they would be the ones standing here maybe asking the question, not him.
What about up to the property line, so we could still apply for the bear grant and then let it be private from the fence to the back?
Like a driveway.
Because it's already dedicated past that.
But what if the city releases this part, lets the first part from here to the highway stay, they accept it, right? And then he can apply for a bear grant.
No, because it's back here. It's not gonna be-
Are you saying
No, she
just,
said it has to be.
just that front section
He
is
uses the bear grant to improve the front section to the property.
as asphalt? And then the city releases the remaining portion?
No, just to use the
No,
bear
just the
grant to
front part.
offset the cost of city standard street.
Would that be feasible?
Okay, get a permit back here if he doesn't improve the road, right?
But then it will be private from here back, and he can do whatever he wants to back here. And then he doesn't have to go. Right?
Hold on, I'm going through my filing cabinet.
No, we'll see you next month.
Sounds like a good
And he said we're on a deadline here.
I mean, if it's purchased at fair market value
It
as,
seems like a good compromise.
as land
If you approve this,
and replatted, and it would really just require the other business that's there to have an access easement to get to their portion of the land, so it would
Yeah, but
require him
the
to
other
issue an
businesses
access
before.
easement to those people.
Wouldn't the other business be before that? Like before, if we go with what you're talking about, it would be before.
there's only one business that would be affected by it, but they have large trucks that they would benefit from just keeping the limestone driveway. But they're, right when you come in, their driveway's right there.
Yeah.
approving it sets us up for the city to be sued when the next person tries to come and do it. And I'll be the first in line because I have my road ready to go. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just saying that the rule is like it is for a reason. How can we help him? Because this is a wonderful idea.
Right.
This is a wonderful idea that the city of Santa Fe needs. So this will allow him to still apply for the Bear Grant to help offset the cost from the highway to the gate to city standards of a concrete street. And then when he gets to the gate, he's free to do whatever he wants to. He can do any kind of, he could do two dirt tracks if he wanted to, I don't care, because it's his private road, and then we get out of the way and we don't tell him what he needs to do back there.
But can you get a permit for these back here without being on an approved road?
As far as if he purchases this, it's no different than purchasing a flag piece of property that touches a 60-foot road right of way. Then we don't, the city of Santa Fe doesn't have any bearing on what he
I mean,
does.
I love that idea, I just wanna make sure that
What do you
we're
think?
gonna accomplish what we wanna accomplish.
I know that this is like a lot of rules and we may need a little bit more time, but
Manny, is that something that we could work with? As far as your standards for getting fire trucks and ambulances back there?
Okay, so,
I'm not saying not do it, I'm saying let them two work out how to get the fire truck and the ambulance out. Let the property owner and the fire marshal work that out without the city being involved and telling them what they have to do.
so in brief, any development of a roadway surface is pretty much gonna run parallel with or consistent with fire code requirements, which is the improved surface. And improved surface, it's already embedded with drainage, grading, weight rating for a surface and width. So even if hypothetically you get up to the fence line, that's kind of arbitrary because it's not in the language of the plat per se. You know, okay, you get it to this point and then you come in for a permit. Well, how far is that setback from that point to your access to your facility for the, you know, emergency vehicles and or emergency access? You know, say it's another 40, you know, say it's 200 feet and just, you know, just to go around the building per se. So that's still gonna have to be built to that same standard as the preceding roadway with the weight rating, with the grading design and width. So it would pretty much still have to meet the same fire code standard, which is what the city, ultimately what the city standard would require.
But
So-
could they meet the standards by having asphalt instead of concrete in the
Concrete.
back?
The standards could be met,
Yes.
design, but that's on an individual design,
Right.
engineering, designing specifications that the
Right.
customer would ultimately produce and introduce to the city.
And that we technically already started, because obviously the road does not exist paved at this
Right.
point anyway. And as you could see, what we were proposing is essentially a hammerhead for emergency vehicles to navigate. And I think I talked to you before a little bit about it briefly in one of our meetings, with a fire hydrant centrally located to eventually service both buildings. So that would not be an issue. But just ultimately, asphalt is way more affordable than concrete.
Half
And
the
I-
price.
Yeah, and I think the bigger thing that we have to kind of consider is that at some point, if we ever want this property developed, it's got to happen, you know? And unfortunately, from my perspective, it's not large enough to put a Walmart or shopping center in. I mean, you really, honestly, and we were talking about this the other day, it's probably best suited for us. I don't imagine anybody else that could use it for any other reason. It's too valuable, just put a house back there, you know? And either way, we'll still be right before you guys kind of chopping through this steel, so it's either now or later. But for us, it's very significant, because this will determine if we are able to continue in Santa Fe with this concept.
So if you can't do asphalt, then you're probably not.
We won't be able to afford it. Yeah. It's not a very big business. It's essentially a custom home with a lot of bedrooms. And for us too, we've really taken pride, even on the first build, of really being creative and being good stewards so that we can keep the costs down for the consumers. Assisted living is very expensive. And those prices can really increase up with the cost of the facilities and staffing.
Yeah. So can we do the compromise?
I think what he was saying is still didn't think that would work.
Oh.
Even if you
Do
only
you
concrete.
think that would?
So it would definitely put us, in a better direction than, having to meet the entire standard for the entire street. Our biggest concern, just being honest, we approached city with this at the end of July, and we're running out of time.
Yeah.
We honestly are.
So if you, the lending you're getting right now, is that just
Yeah.
for the two buildings, or does it also allow, or can you request for it to cover, like if we did do the thing where the city would do the front half and then y'all would do the back half, that it could allot for that or not? No, it's
So-
far past that point.
It really is technically. So we are securing funding through an SBA 7A loan.
Okay.
And so if you've ever worked with the government or
Yeah.
SBA, it's not as easy as saying, okay, we're going to stop and start over.
Yeah, no, I was in the military, you don't need to
Yeah,
explain.
yeah. Yeah, so.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, so for the most part, the loan has been structured to accommodate, yes, the actual facility, purchasing the property, and some degree of infrastructure, but not to the extent of a concrete curb and gutter.
Okay.
And a lot of that was also hinged on asking the city for assistance, possibly through EDC, which I think would be tremendous because, as I pointed out, there are 3 or 4 other businesses on that strip. And if you drive down that corridor, which we're saying is the economic development corridor, it's like the last little spot that's just really hanging out there that needs some attention. I think, and I'm really proud of the work that we've done on our section. I wish I had a before and after picture from 3 years ago. It's really helped to move the aesthetics of that area on 646, I believe. And we still have the same intentions of being good stewards and doing that, and definitely looking out for our neighbors. Even when we built, I was in constant communication with Mr. Raleigh, and we were very considerate of our neighbors and really trying to make improvements that not only benefit Victorious, but that entire area.
I've been kind of at a loss with this one because I have my emotional attachment to it and I don't have an easy answer. And if I did, then I would have
Well,
given it already.
We say it sets a precedence, but I guess the part that I don't understand is that that's the whole thing about asking for variance is because it's not.
This is a for-profit business
Oh,
going in the back
yeah.
that has tax dollars tied to it if we have to maintain a road that is not built. And then
Okay.
that's the citizens' pocket.
And it's.
So as much as emotionally I want this to happen, we
Mm.
still have to be good stewards of our tax dollars.
Okay.
And I don't know, I researched every one of these properties trying to find the document where they all agreed for it to be a private easement. I believe it's there. I don't believe that all of these people just had these documents drawn up. There's so many documents that have that, and so many tracks. There's 4 tracks on one property that all have it listed on there. So I believe there's another document that says we've all agreed that it's a private easement.
I've gone cross-eyed looking for it too.
Yeah, and so I just,
Can you vote each and create it as a private easement? Or you can't go back on
So
where?
it's like, the way that it's listed, there's the dedication of it, there's the deed of dedication, and then there's lien releases for each individual property. And then there's one more document that's randomly in there. And that one document that's in there in between all of these lien releases says that it's a public right of way.
Every one of these documents
Mhm.
lists out the cul-de-sac description. I went through it line by line and measured it to make sure that that's what we're talking about here. All of the properties, and then one of these properties is 4 tracks. So we're talking 9 different documents, all reference it being a private easement. I don't believe that's an accident. When in 1984, there was one document that a family dedicated a right-of-way so that their children could build on it. And that's how it happened back then.
And so one of our consultants had suggested that, and I don't understand how this works, but since it was never formally dedicated, it could somehow revert back to that original property owner. And then they could make the decision.
Are they alive?
The daughter is, who's actually signed on the dedication, or I think it was, not the dedication, but the final transfer. And then, of course, one family member, the grandson, still has a lot.
We have to find a way to still protect the city, but go with the fact that this is a private easement.
So, you know, he also has a title company involved, and so you'd have to have them see what they have to agree to. But, and no one's, it's only been conveyed as a private easement. It wasn't conveyed title to it, right?
No, there's not a title to it.
Yeah. So that's the problem too. It's,
So,
And what was
So
the
this
status
road
of the
dedication is
or
the
the
deed.
county?
The county, so it was ultimately dedicated to the county because the city had not annexed this property, is my understanding. And so when we started our research with the county, they basically said they have no record of maintenance or ever accepting it. And of course, at this point, because the city has now annexed that portion of the county, they want nothing to do with it essentially. So it really does kind of lie back between the city.
Why is it that the county can just, oh, we don't want to have anything to do with it, but then
just like the city, they don't have to accept it. You
Yeah,
can't
the
just do
language
it.
falls in there, but just because the language falls in there doesn't mean that,
So nobody's accepted it, so it's just floating around.
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, had
up
he never
until
filed
this-
the replat to do that, then we
Right.
wouldn't have ever looked at this and thought anything different.
And the point of a city accepting a road that you build to their standards is that now it becomes a road that the city's gonna take over and
And maintain,
But it's
yeah.
built to a certain level
Right,
and not gonna cost more to maintain it.
Right.
Because it was.
right.
Which, you know, our main argument is that it should just be, you know, not feasible, even for the city we're talking like 300 and something feet of road, you know, that's really privately accessed.
So question, the road dedication is the title company, have they looked at this and said?
They've not given us any feedback on it at all.
So where that gate is,
Yes,
I think you said, well, let me just start over on asking, because I'm not sure which thing you were talking about. So the front part, that is where that other business is, and the part that is before the gate is how much, how many feet?
I don't have the exact measurements, but I want to say
Just give or
it's like roughly like 300 and something feet.
And then the part
And then there's
that's
probably another
Oh, every-
section that's probably just as
The road.
long,
You know,
Behind
if
the
not a
gate?
little bit longer, yeah.
Okay.
If the
Yeah.
city doesn't do it, then he is liable for everything, right? The city
That's the
doesn't
city
have,
attorney would have to be.
Did I hear it right that, okay, if we go with the asphalt and everything else for then 1 year, if he wanted to have the city take it over, he has to come to the city council and apply for them to take the road. At that point, the city could say, yes, we'll take it over, or no, we don't.
Correct.
And if they don't take it over, that means that he or somebody will have to maintain that road from then on, but
Correct.
not the city.
Which is essentially what's been happening now.
But you would be able to afford to do the asphalt version?
No.
No, but.
Oh, the asphalt, yeah.
Well,
The asphalt.
it would definitely, long-term, be a lot easier to repair an asphalt road than a concrete road.
Yeah, after
Well,
the year, the city can say yes or no, and then we're done with it.
But that would mean starting, I'm just trying to follow
Yeah.
everything. That would mean starting it as him doing the asphalt?
No.
And then
Yeah.
come back and
Yeah.
applying and
He,
saying.
he
okay,
would,
city-
yeah, he would do the asphalt at the beginning, you know, with our standards and everything else. And you'd maintain it for that first year.
Well, it's under warranty, yeah.
That's, you know, and then after the first year, he has the right to request the city take over the road as a permanent road for the city.
And so then he would be surrendering it to the city?
Right.
And then the city would pay?
Then the city would take over,
And it would
the road.
become the tax?
The city can also deny it.
but the city can
And
also
it would go on
deny
like
it.
it is.
And it would go like it is now.
And then who would pay the taxes on it, on the two
There isn't
scenarios?
taxes.
There's no, oh, because it's right.
Yeah, it's just kind of floating out there.
Right, right. So, and that, okay, and so then if the city did take it, then they would at that point, would it come back before in front of us
No.
to?
It would go strictly to the city council.
Oh, okay, and then they would say, okay, well, we have to bring it up to standards and concrete it and curb and gutter.
They would just take it over like it is, like a lot of the streets are now.
Oh, yeah.
We would have our engineers give a report and
See
say,
if it's,
we've walked it, it's up to our standards, and we're comfortable accepting it. There's no detrimental errors where it's gonna come apart as soon as you walk on it, that type of thing. Yeah,
But if the city doesn't take it,
then it just hangs out like it is now.
and you would have to maintain it,
Which we're doing now.
which you're doing now. Okay,
So I don't see-
So is that something that you think that you could
That's what he
afford
should-
and
That's what he
pay-
suggested.
That's what he's suggesting now,
Yeah.
Okay,
you know, which is, to me, is the simple and quickest way, you know.
are we interpreting or am I understanding everything correct? Okay.
Yes, that's what this section of gray hair is
Gray hair?
is this,
And if we
this-
recommended that, the city council may turn it down or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, just.
Are you planning to come to city council when
Oh.
they present it?
I'll do whatever I need to do. I am
Yeah,
passionate about
it's,
this
I can
project.
understand, you know, it's, you know, what's happened in the past, but this is the quickest and easiest way
Yeah.
of letting him, you know.
But then again, are we putting ourselves in trouble with somebody else who wants to put an asphalt road in and not pay for asphalt and something else? I mean, this is a unique situation,
Not
but.
everybody has Dexter's reputation.
Right.
We know he builds good stuff,
Yeah,
but not everybody who comes behind him. is
So
gonna
that's
have
why
the
they
same
have to come
intention.
and present the stuff in front of us.
We can get a
Yeah.
suit though.
No,
If
because
we
you did it
denied
for
somebody
him.
else.
Yes, you did it for him, you need to do it for me. You gotta remember that when we're making these decisions, that not everybody has the best of intentions.
But it's not, there isn't, like, this is not exactly a common, this seems like an
It's gonna become more
anomaly.
and more common as there's less and less land to develop here in Santa Fe.
With the people, with them not demarcating the streets versus right-of-ways versus, I forgot what it's already called. The public, like, with it,
It's a
because it
unique
hasn't been,
situation, but-
yes, that's what I'm trying to ask. Because it hasn't been ever
just like we've
designated.
got houses that are alleyways, designated alleyways.
Mm.
But there are other rights of ways in the city that are still
Yeah,
not maintained by the city because the street wasn't built.
yeah.
So there's other places out
Yeah,
there.
just like that.
Just exactly like that. This just happens to be a new one where there existing places.
And I think from my standpoint, the reason I was saying not really a precedence is because this is one of the last ones that has not had any surfacing. The others obviously have asphalt surfacing already. So,
I personally own a street that does not have surface. Just throwing that out.
okay.
Come on, Georgia, there's gotta be something.
The alternative is if this commission doesn't feel that they can make a decision, you do have the right to refer it to city council, and then city council will make the final decision on it.
I feel like I can make a decision.
Concrete, the only thing that we've approved in our standards or specs.
That's what was put in place right before I got here.
But is there not a provision for low-density roads to be used as to be paved as asphalt as well?
There isn't one that was adopted at the same time that they put in place for the concrete roads.
And I don't know that low density would work when you're gonna have a garbage truck, a fire truck, and an ambulance. That low density that you're talking about the number of people that are gonna be traveling on the road,
Okay,
but it's outweighed by the weight of the vehicles that are gonna be on this road.
The reason I was asking is because it says in our regulations that the surfacing shall be of character as suitable for expected traffic, blah, blah, blah. And the types of pavement shall be determined by the development officer. So I'm wondering where that comes into play.
So it has to go before P and Z, and then P and Z decides what that standard is. And
For that,
for
whatever.
our city standard as a whole.
Oh, okay.
And so P and Z decided prior to me getting here, and has continued to decide, that the standard was concrete curb and gutter.
And that was way before the spike in prices on concrete.
And I got here June of '23. And so I know it went into effect prior to June of '23, but when we brought it back up for reexamination, that's been the choice to continue with that standard. So with whatever the standard was prior to that, I don't have knowledge of it. I'm sure I could find it.
And that's been concrete for a while.
Did he go?
It has, okay.
Seems like that's the whole purpose of asking for variances. Because this is an oddball situation.
What is it? Is it not that?
Well, when you have them keeping records where one says it's a right of way, one says it's a, you know,
It's, when you have a deed dedication roadway,
yeah.
I don't care what anybody else has called it, unfortunately.
So somewhere, there would need to be another document to tie all of these surveys to it where they're using different language. There was something in between that document and these,
Oh, there should have been, but doesn't mean there was.
But they can't undo that. I mean, can other people undo it?
It could have very easily been that just because we have it digitally filed now and we can sit and go through it, somewhere in a move of documents or in a filing cabinet somewhere, somebody went to go check for something and couldn't find piece A and so assumed that it was an easement and
Right.
put it in a
Yes.
release of lien that way. And so that's how everyone else followed suit, and then when it was digitized, all the pieces came together and it didn't quite fit. But you can't,
Or someone just asked, you know, one of the owners, and they said, no, that's not a road, that's just an easement.
right.
And there it goes.
Or has this property, I'm sure it's been replatted from the time it was dedicated until now.
That's another one of those gray areas where you click and then it redirects you and things have been moved in there.
Yeah,
Dexter has a replat.
Yeah, I can't remember the date on that plat, but it was
Yours was
done
2022.
for the shop. 'Cause that shop was built in 2002,
2003.
3. So,
And then there was a lawyer that owned all that land, and he would sell a parcel here and a parcel here and draw it up in his office and sell the land. I think it was Hall, was the lawyer.
Doesn't surprise me. Dexter, do you want to pull up a chair?
I'll stand. Yeah, I know, it is definitely a unique situation. I just don't see it being practical for anybody. I mean, if it were a pass-through street, longer, didn't terminate into that property, I could see like, you know, the standards being there, but I just don't see anyone ever being able to develop it.
City council's Thursday,
Next Thursday.
next
He
Thursday.
can, if we say no, he can appeal it to city council, right?
Right.
You guys don't even really have to say no. It gives you the option to put it forward and,
And say that we'd
And
like
say
city
that-
council to consider this.
right, that you didn't have a set decision. I would need the commissioner or the chairperson or associate chairperson to come and speak and have something so that I can present it to him in writing, so that you can explain exactly why you came to the determination that we need help.
Their meeting is the 12th.
Yes.
I can come to that.
Okay.
And then I would like to present this road dedication to one of our underwriters and ask them what we could do to undo it.
Okay. I would appreciate that.
Because if the road gets undedicated, but is that a problem for the grant? It's
Yeah.
a grant problem.
That's why I was saying let's do half and half.
Yeah.
So what kind of verbiage, because I think it's only 200 and something feet from the highway to the fence. Because this property,
It's like 200 or 300 and something feet.
Okay.
this one's
So-
96 and I think this is.
So they
Dexter,
really
do you
only.
remember how deep your property is?
It's like 100. It's about. I think it's about. If I'm not mistaken, like right at 300 feet from the apron.
Okay, so
285 feet.
if we did 285 feet of city-required street
Mhm.
construction that allows him to still apply for his grants, but then it cuts the cost of his road. Because there's 446 feet from that point to the cul-de-sac that's drawn on this paper. I don't know what, I'm just estimating.
So what about an abandonment by the city?
It's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna cut off where you can't.
Abandonment
Abandonment
of
from-
only some of it.
Because for the owner in the back who owns both of these pieces, he just has to have 60 foot touching touching a road right of way, right? So if you're looking at this here, the owner that he's purchasing from owns this whole thing.
Mhm.
So there would be his 60 foot road right of way to the property that he owns.
What's this frontage for highway commercial?
Because I've seen
Yeah, I'm
cities
not really understanding
abandon
how
their
mileage is.
roadways and give it to the adjoining property owners. I've seen
So
that.
one of our consultants suggested that as well. And then it would
Maybe
kind
we
of.
can do only part of it, abandon. a
Yeah,
certain-
and it would kind of put us back in the same situation where we're kind of maintaining it like we've been doing.
So you-
So I think ultimately for us, it'll just come down to the most cost-effective way to satisfy everybody and getting it paved, and then the quickest way, because unfortunately, this has been 6 months of kind of going in a circle.
Belinda made a good point. It's not gonna give them enough frontage to plat it if you cut them off at the road. And then take into consideration that the sale of the shop is gonna be a separate sale.
And we are in a joint plat, like he did agree to plat jointly with us.
But if you cut it off right there, it's not gonna give you enough frontage on the road to meet the requirement, because this isn't considered frontage. It would be side setback here, not frontage.
And I think the other thing too to kind of consider is, yes, it is a 60-foot wide road or right of way, but that actual road is not very wide. Like, if you drive down it, I think I had the measurements. I want to say, I can't remember the exact measurements, but you wouldn't really be able to, I don't even know if you'd really be able to build it to city standards, honestly.
That's what I was asking about earlier. Where I was saying it was cutting the building.
Because like where Gates Fuel Service is, like literally their little side parking lot butts up to it. And it does curve. And so of course, we know we'd have to remove some of the fencing.
Well, the paving only has to be, what, 28 feet?
Yeah.
Right around 6 feet. About surface.
Yeah. I don't have the exact measurements, but it would be really tight. The way the road's laid out, because it's not a straight road, it kind of curves. And unfortunately, not that it can't be removed, but there are some things that are kind of in the way a little bit.
So question, I mean, what's the difference between us if we approve the variance? It's gonna go to city council no matter what.
No.
What's the difference between?
If you approve it, it doesn't have to go to city council. If you
I think this has to go to.
don't make a decision, then you can refer it to city council.
Or we can
If it's,
deny it and-
if it's denied, then he can appeal it to city council
Is there a wait time for him to appeal it?
within 10 days.
But if we just make the suggestion that you go to city council, does he get to get on the agenda right away? So there's no wasted time?
I would have to write it up first thing in the morning and get it to Natalie before noon, but yes, we could put it on there.
You know, where he doesn't miss the meeting.
Right. I would have to write it up tomorrow, but yes, we could get it on the next
That would be
agenda.
faster than him doing the appeal conference.
Right.
Yes, okay. I don't know, you say that like that's a question.
It is a question. You don't have to wait, and I think you have to do it within that.
Yes, within 10 days.
You don't have to wait 10 days to do it. Oh, I see. You just can't do it beyond that.
Because I can't believe that we can't come up with a solution.
Does it doesn't exceed, you said it was 16, or, no, it doesn't even count as units, does it? Because it's a house, like, type of thing. Whereas a unit would be an apartment or condo or townhome.
I mean, he still has to have a fire plan and everything. 'cause
Right,
that's
right.
How it's classified,
Right.
so. And what you,
Yeah, because I was just basing it off of what it said, right?
oh, yeah.
30 units.
So you've already made the determination that you can't do this the way he wants to do it without coming here. Is that correct?
Yes.
So there has to be a majority vote of us then, a supermajority vote.
Yes.
Trying to do the numbers.
We can put it out and see how it turns out.
If it fails.
I think the best
then he has
thing,
to appeal to city
yeah, it's, you know,
By tomorrow morning, or I mean, you have to write it up by.
send it to the city council, let some of us show up and explain what, we had problems with it. And, you know, see what they can do. Let them make decision.
I mean, even if we vote on it, it's still gonna go that direction.
Yeah,
So let's give it a try and see what happens. I mean, huh?
I said not necessarily. If
What?
we grant it, it won't go any further.
Right.
yeah.
If we don't do anything or deny it, then it would, could go to city. My heart wants to do it so badly, but my brain is like,
Okay, do we need a motion or?
Give it to us, Ron.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance.
A second.
Roll call.
Chairperson Hefner,
Yes.
Chairperson Wagner McGee, Commissioner Willoughby,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
no,
Commissioner Wofford,
yes.
and Commissioner Villery.
Yes.
Motion passes. Your variance has been granted. I feel like I hold my breath for a really long time.
And here, I think this,
It is.
Okay, I have some that one, no, wait a minute, we're
Wait.
not ready yet, we still have to.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. Next item. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
do you have to go to city council?
No?
It better not be.
Okay, next item. Consideration and possible action, review of proposed RFQ for changes to the Unified Development Code.
I promise this one will be quick and easy. Miss Janet, I know that the numbering at the bottom of this is incorrect, and I need to fix it before it goes out.
What number? Due date?
The numbering at the bottom of the page.
Oh,
I know that is incorrect. I didn't get a chance to fix it before I sent it out. I had to give you at least one thing if you didn't find anything else.
Do
What?
what?
So I said something you didn't notice. So I put everything together. I started originally going directly off of the RFQ that we looked at, and there were just a couple things that were in there after I looked at it a little bit harder that didn't quite sit right with me. So I went back and dressed it up in one of our RFQs that had gone out for a different service. And it fits a little bit better with what we have put out previously and more in line with our language. And some of the, where am I at? Page 9 of 12, the part 3 specifications, some of the things that are in the diagnosis are similar to what they had and what we had gone over, and some of it was vamped up a little more to match what we had discussed in the
strategic planning workshop. But I did put in there that this is going to move fairly quickly. Obviously that we want it to be correct and encompass every change that we want to make, but that we would like to have it completed within 6 to 9 months, so that whoever decides to bid on it knows that we are serious and we're not gonna drag this out forever.
The first page says it's due March 18th, but then the other one says the 30th. Am I not looking at this right? Okay, so, oh, 12.
I did change the dates on it. Thank you. So I will fix the first page.
So we want it for the 30th.
We do want it for the 30th. I was trying to give them enough time to get questions back. As I was bouncing around, I was like, what questions could they ask and how long am I gonna have to answer those questions? So I, they needed a little more time, as did I.
Oh my gosh. What is it?
The year.
Oh, whoops. The other ones are right.
Okay,
Still in that weird spot where my years are.
what's the
going.
response date?
Oh, yeah.
March what?
30th.
March 30th of
And
26,
correct
not
the year.
25. We're not gonna do retroactive.
Yeah,
We're not going back to.
I'm done with
No, we're good.
25.
I don't know, 26 is starting out hot.
25 was a good year for me, so.
I also did make it very clear that they will be responsible for mailing everything and holding all of the public hearings, that that's not something that we wish to do.
Thank you.
Say that part again?
That they will be responsible for mailing everything, posting all of the signs, posting all of the newspaper postings, and that needs to be included
All those
in,
Austin requirements.
in what they submit to us, because we will not be doing that. And that it all has to be in compliance with state law and Texas local government code regulations. I said that 5 or 6 different times. That way, if somebody comes in from out of state, then they understand exactly what they need to be in compliance with, and that they'll take full responsibility for it.
So what happens if it changes again in between now and then? Cause like for a while there, it was changing like once a year. Seems like, maybe that was just my imagination, but.
I hope it doesn't. You better move really fast.
I make a motion to approve the proposed RFQ for the changes to the Unified Development Code.
Second.
Is that Miss Janet?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Glenna Hefner,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner McGee,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Wofford,
Yes.
Commissioner Willoughby,
Yes,
and Commissioner Billery.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep this.
I'm getting there, y'all. And this last one, because I promise. Read me.
Next item, discussion and direction, review of the green infrastructure toolkit for Texas communities.
I make a motion to postpone this one to our next meeting.
You don't even have to make a motion, this one's easy. Please go watch the video that I sent you and look over this. This is one of the things that I'm proposing, that as we go through updating our subdivision ordinance, that we work into it. The video I sent is about an hour and a half long, so commit some time to it. But during the strategic planning workshop, we discussed possibly offering incentives moving forward. My idea for incentives are not tax rebates. My idea for incentives are, we'll discount you permitting fees if you put in infrastructure that's gonna help us not flood people out. So this is one of those toolkits that could possibly help with that, and it's got backing through A&M, FEMA, and some other really important groups that I personally feel like we should be following suit with. So please do homework, go home, watch the video, look through the toolkit, and when we come back, I'll have it on the agenda and let me know if this is something that we would like to work into our subdivision ordinance before we really hit the meat of what changes we're going to make in there. There's not a lot of cities around us that have things like this in there, and I think that we would benefit as a whole from adding some of these things in there.
Two things, and it may have come through while I was sick, I don't know, but I never got the email for this particular thing, so I never got video, nothing.
Okay, I'll try sending it by yourself.
Yeah, I'll look. Sometimes I have to search literally by your name, or it does not come up. It's weird. Anyway, but the other thing I wanted to mention is I went to that event that A&M put on at the only other person from the city that was there was Mayor Noto. It was really good. I did not realize the amount, it was for the county, for Galveston County, but I did not realize the amount of monetary value that the Galveston County has regarding agriculture and how it keeps, like all of this keeps us from, reduces our flood risk and such. And they were really big on encouraging incentives for landowners along these same lines. And so it was, but I had no idea. And a lot of it was in Santa Fe, like a huge portion was Santa Fe. So the dairy, the cows, the bees, although we lost 60% of our hives this year. So I lost all, it's not me, so that's $2,000. Gotta go spend.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah, I just wanna say this out loud. When I was appointed to this committee, the only question I was asked is, what are you gonna do with your kids? So you can make the meetings. And I said, I have a husband and a nanny, and so I got appointed. But I am very, disappointed or concerned that we don't get our agenda except for 1 or 2 days before this meeting. I work nights, and I have to take a night out of my schedule to come here, and then I find out the day before we're not even having it. I understand the agenda's done a week ahead of time at least. Is that right?
In most cases, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I just would like us to be informed well before the due date of a meeting, if we're not gonna have one especially, so that I can use that meeting for work. Because I've made all mine that I've been in town, and I would like to thank you to see that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's it?
Make a motion to adjourn? Amen.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, y'all.
A long time ago, something similar